See comments yet. Hey, everybody. Mar will be right with us. And I can't see comments yet, so give me just a second. Everything's loading. Is everybody doing okay after that announcement today about Gabby? This is taking forever to download for some reason. There we go. Hey, Hummingbird. You cried? I feel like a lot of people were right there with you crying. It's been very emotional.
Hummingbird, my elderly cat's gamer guy. What the verdict? The doctor today, Dr. Blue.
Yeah, Gamer said he cried.
Lanky. Yeah, it was sad. I was actually, what I told Hummingbird is I was actually hoping that it was like a little push argument and maybe she fell and hit her head or something, but that right there was so personal that I hope that he is in the belly of gator, wild pigs, turtles, snakes, ants, mosquitoes. Hey, Jessica.
Yeah, he definitely deserves to have suffered if he's not alive. And if he is alive, then I hope he will suffer. Sorry, not sorry.
A lot of people want him to be found, but when you think about it, like really, when was the last sighting of him? Your
I feel like it
husband
could
in the
go
chat.
either way. It's a lot.
But when was the last sighting of him?
About 3 weeks ago.
You don't think that's kind of strange?
I don't know. I feel like Gabby gave us to just let it be and that there will be an answer. So I don't know. Maybe we just have to have faith in that. I try to look for some sort of message in things.
Yeah, I hear you. Let me find the letter from the doctor.
Gamer, yeah, if he's hiding, it's definitely a good place, that's for sure.
He really does have to be hiding good because they're still going out to that reserve. I heard, even though it's definitely a smaller group, that they were actually out there again today.
I've heard
Or
rumors that Dog is actually still down there, but I don't know if that's true.
no, there was a video that dog went back to Colorado because he hurt his ankle. And he couldn't get his foot in a boot. Poor guy. But I did hear though he was looking on the Appalachian Trail. Oh wait, dog is still there. He couldn't leave. Why couldn't he leave? Oh, monkey, stop.
I heard there was supposed to be an update, like be on the lookout in the next 24 hours from Dog, but I never saw anything. I don't know. But I've been busy today.
Hummingbird, why is dog still there?
She said because of the case.
Ah.
Duh.
He may have decided to head to the Appalachian Trails because I did see a video. Let me see if I can find it. Where he was actually the reason that he was. Well, maybe he changed his mind actually after the video because I think that was when he was leaving because of his foot. She wants to know, elderly cat, why Brian's parents are not upset.
I
That's what
couldn't
I
agree
want to know.
more.
Oh, Lanky, thank you.
Welcome, welcome.
Why? I don't know. I mean, they could be upset. I mean, we don't know what they talked about, I guess, behind closed doors. Maybe they just know that their son's probably now belongs to the Carlton Reserve. Yeah, they are weird. I agree, gamer guy.
They're very smiley for people who have a kid missing.
Hey, Kaz. I think that they should collect those laundry baskets and sell them for 50 cents each.
That's
Make some
actually an
money.
excellent idea.
Oh, shit. All right. So, are we done talking about Brian and poor Gabby Petito? Or does anyone want to still talk about that? Because I'm going to put that in my on my channel to rest until something comes up with Brian or he's caught, because I really don't think there's anything more. I think today was basically closure. And even if Brian's caught, I don't think he is going to talk if he's
Mm,
alive.
I
Hello,
think if I was going
AVH.
to, he probably already would have.
Wait, what did AVH say? My source on the Rainwater case says they don't believe there is any connection to the Springfield 3. I don't know, guys, but that Springfield 3 is definitely interesting.
The van situation still makes me wonder, though.
Yeah, it does. Michaels, look at he can't. Hey, look at he made it out of the dark web. He
Yay!
said
Good
he's
job.
back. Oh,
That
look,
place
he
is
said,
crazy, man. I've
look,
sent
he's
Mars
back
some
from the
praise.
dark side.
Oh my goodness.
We actually have a little documentary on the Springfield 3 that we're gonna just play 20 minutes at the end. It's like 40 minutes long, but we're just gonna play the first 20 and we'll finish it up tomorrow. But it's definitely interesting. And I'll tell you what, guys, um, regardless if the Springfield 3 is not connected and that's not the van on the property, then there are still like 13 other people that are on that property. Hey, GB, in some form or another. I mean, we can go back to the beginning and reread the crime story article if you want to read it. I'll definitely mic down so I don't have a nervous attack.
Just let me know what to do. Oh, the horrors he's seen. He said, I feel you there.
Oh, hummingbird. McRib sandwich.
Oh, you actually made that? That is awesome.
Yeah, there's a McRib icon. That was Hummingbird's idea, guys. But I did
Genius.
laugh. I did laugh the whole time. It was great. Okay, so we got a couple updates on the Kansas City escape artist, and we have a couple updates on the Cassidy Rainwater case. And I'm going to tell you guys what we have. Hey, Merrick, we have Doug, and we have Doug, and we are starting to think that Wayne Barty is not connected to this whatsoever. He was just a guy at the school. Another weirdo for sure. But did we
Yeah, he's
find him?
definitely
He wasn't in
uh
the SO offender list, was he?
not yet, but I mean, considering what he just did, I would imagine that he will be.
Hey, Ray of Light. Yeah, he may end up in the SO file, but he's not in there yet. But he was just, I think, trying to do something near the high school and kidnap maybe a high schooler. I don't know. They haven't come out with the details. But he was a little bit far away too. I don't think he had anything to do with The Three Stooges, Kenny, James, and Timothy. Let me see. My source can't confirm the multiple bodies at the property, but the other stuff they confirm. Oh, they found remains in oil tankers, freezers.
Hmm.
There was body parts. You have to say about the part in the detailed thing. I can't do it.
Yeah, they were very specific in labeling all of the items in the freezer. And I'm curious to know if the rib thing can be confirmed about giving that to the neighbors.
Oh my God, I got to mute for a second.
And honestly, I'm not trying to sound insensitive at all. I don't know how else to describe some of these things other than just to be kind of blunt about it.
My source confirmed that. AVH, but Mr. Sheriff Rice said that they were eating sandwiches that were, I don't know what they were, but they were from humans. I'm calling Rice tomorrow, but we have a couple new updates on what's going on with that case. Hey, Lizzie. I think it was. I definitely think that they were hunting people on that property. Well, maybe not Timothy Norton. He kind of looked like he couldn't find himself out of a wet paper bag. But James Phelps, that dude is scary.
And the more I hear, the more the hunting thing sounds totally plausible.
We have a video for you guys to show you of a neighbor that is building a golf course right next door to the cannibal farm. And it's a trigger warning, guys. I'm not going to tell you what it is because it's definitely a person that looks like they are not where they want to be in the house before they burnt it down to the ground.
Mhm. With not just one booby trap, but apparently many. It's just getting more and more sick.
Yeah, it is. All right, let's get into this.
Yeah, I would play haunted golf there maybe.
This poor guy. Oh, shoot. Could you imagine? I don't want to start with that though. Okay. I want to start real quick with the Kansas guy that is still in Utah, which I don't understand why he's still there. So I guess these were the ladies that helped him.
Oh, I was under the impression that it was two men. Because
Oh
the
no,
image that I saw was clickbait then for the picture.
oh no, it was two women.
That makes a lot more sense for me then.
Okay, do you guys remember who we're talking about here? Let me find a picture of him real fast so I can refresh your guys' memory of this one. He was the one that escaped from the mental hospital in Kansas.
He was kind of between the Morgan sessions, also right, I think like 80 miles, but the way it looks on the map, he could have just taken his little motorcycle right up that mountainside over to the Moab girls. And then also it was like right next to Gabby too. So we kind of found him while looking through those three cases.
This one, the one with his motorcycle.
He escaped from Kansas and rode all the way over there and just happened to be in the same location. Blows my mind.
John Freeman Colt is his
Good job.
name.
You got it that time.
John Freeman Colt. So he was the one that was arrested in Utah. Now, this is going to get weird, guys, because we were thinking the two. Do I think that he did something to Crystal and Kaylin? I don't know. But we're going to show you that he was definitely capable of camping and had camp gear. So this man, 2 state employees arrested in escape of SP from Kansas mental hospital.
And remember, this guy was deemed too dangerous to ever be released.
Yeah. So then, Lauren, Kansas, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. The Pawnee County Attorney's Office has identified 2 women who were arrested in connection to the escape of a SP from the Lawrence State Mental Hospital in June. 50-year-old Rachel Reyna Perez, 45-year-old Liliana Guadalupe Hauser, now of Garden City, made their first appearance before a judge Tuesday afternoon. Perez has been charged with 15 felony accounts, while Hauser is facing 13. So this happened today, Tuesday. So Perez is charged with obstruction in the apprehension or prosecution of a registered SO, unlawful S relations with a patient while employed by KDADS. 9 counts of traffic and contraband in a care and treatment facility while employed by KDADS. Conspiracy to traffic contraband, interfere with law enforcement, destruction of evidence, interference with law enforcement, to wit, providing false information, conspiracy to commit aggravated escape from an SP treatment program. Oh, now it's an SP treatment program. Yeah, I bet you he's definitely one of a kind.
Mm-hmm.
Hauser is facing charges of 2 counts, unlawful S relations with a patient. Didn't I tell you earlier that's what he was probably doing?
Yes, ma'am.
He was probably making them think, "Oh, girls, get me out, and we can have a family together." What? These women right here, how in God's name did they even get a job at a facility like this?
They may need to check into a facility themselves because I don't know how much it would take a lot of convincing from somebody in one of those places to get me to help.
I mean, you can't make it up. So she's a flight risk, 75,000 bond for Perez. Hauser is being held without bond because she is considered a flight risk.
Well, there you go.
Mm-hmm. Preliminary hearing, October 26th. And that was the prior article when they were talking about the 2 women involved before they actually said who they were. And then Holt apprehended by the U.S. Marshals in Utah late last month. So 2001, he was sentenced to 5 years for aggravated S battery, attempted R. Yeah, he's a mean guy.
I wouldn't want to camp next to him.
At high risk to commit future S crimes and too dangerous to release. Let me go bigger so you guys could read that. I don't want to repeat that. This part right here. I mean, I didn't even realize they had state hospital SP treatment programs where he resided until he escaped. Too dangerous to release.
I think I've only heard about that one other time, and that's with Summer Wells's grandma's brother, who was also in something like that.
Yeah, he was
That
in
was
Florida.
the only time I ever heard anything that crazy.
So he planned it several months in advance. We know he shaved. He put the pillows under the blanket or whatever he put under there. Convinced the new staff worker that he targeted, probably one of the girls that he promised to marry, while posing as a doctor. He got past 5 secured doors. several hours before they noticed he was missing. Let's see what this is.
In the town of Torrey, at the base of Capitol Reef National Park, everyone knows the Chuck Wagon.
We're just out front on the bench here at the Chuck Wagon. And this guy approaches us and he says, "Do you guys know of anyone that could give me any work? I'm looking to maybe get a couple $100."
The man's name, Jason Holt, or so they thought. People befriended him quickly.
He worked for us for a solid 2 months. He's hanging out with us every day.
We just clicked as best friends. We drove everywhere. We explored the whole county. We did everything. And I never got that bad vibe.
That was until Monday night, when one man saw Jason's picture on the Fox 13 Facebook page on a wanted poster from the U.S. Marshal's Office under the name John Colt.
Shortly before 6 p.m., received a phone call from a citizen in Torrey. Said he'd seen this gentleman on the news.
So police jumped into action.
While we were in our staging area, coming up with a plan, to approach the camp, Mr. Colt drove by on his motorcycle.
The chase was on, leading them down State Route 24.
Speeds in excess of 100 miles an hour. Deputy Goey was able to get ahead of him, blocked him in, and he pulled over and surrendered.
And I mean, it was 4 hours from my phone call to Sheriff Jensen to the time he was captured.
We spoke with the man who made the connection, who didn't want to be on TV, but showed us where he frequently stayed. This is one of the places that he stayed when he was here.
Yeah, so he would work here every day, go in there to cool off. We got a recliner in there. I was like, well, I mean, you've been hanging out in the shed. You're more than welcome to stay in there.
Inside this cabin is where he slept.
All right, so that recliner there behind you, that'd be his bed for, multiple nights.
Those we talked to shared this video of Colt dancing. Pay attention to the shirt, because it's the same one on the wanted poster from the U.S. Marshal's Office. All of this was hard to believe for the man who says they became best friends.
But he was going to birthday parties with me and fishing with me, and he just acted as a normal guy.
But there was one thing.
It kind of did click to me because he mentioned that he had kids in Kansas. And I'm like, well, why don't you contact your kids? It's like, it seems more important just to stay away from the kids.
Holt is now behind bars in Sevier County.
He was definitely a danger to the public.
Thanks to the hard work of law enforcement.
Anytime we can get a sexual predator off the streets, it's always a good day.
We did talk with the Grand County Sheriff's Office about the murders of Kylie Schulte and Crystal Turner. They say they are aware of Mr. Colt, and separately they're following up on any leads or tips as a part of that homicide investigation, but not yet tying those two together. Of course, we'll keep you updated. In Torrey, Spencer Joseph, Fox 13 News. Utah.
Wow. Did you hear what he actually said? That they are aware of him being in the area of those girls. Did you hear that? Did you guys hear what she said? He said, I mean. He totally said they were aware that he was in the area, and they haven't, said he had nothing to do with the two girls.
I lost connection, sorry.
Did you hear when he said about the Crystal and Kylan at the end?
Oh yeah, I still think there's a connection or a possible connection. It's mind-blowing to me that not only did he fool the hospitals and all the security doors, but then every person that he met seemed to think he was just a nice guy. Like, that is, he's sick.
And him shaking his little booty like that.
So normal. Oh my God.
Him dancing was disturbing, right? Huh.
Among everything, yes.
Okay, so let's get into this. Now, they have it named, they keep bringing him with Gabby Petito. Of course, we don't think this guy had anything to do with Gabby Petito.
I do not.
But there are some interesting things in this article.
We know now for sure he was camping.
Oh, he was camping all right.
We saw the tent.
It's right
There's
here.
a lot of stuff. He's definitely a culprit for me.
Now, we don't think this has anything to do with Gabby Petito whatsoever, but fugitive SO offender in Utah shared photos of tent identical to Gabby Petito's after her demise, but that's just a lucky situation.
I mean, at this point, now I know that he had means to get money. Before, it was all a question for me, like, how would he have camping gear? How would he have a car? How would he have all of this supplies if he was on the run? But he had a job. He was making money.
Yeah, the only other thing that doesn't mesh is when the sheriff said that he was caught on the motorcycle he stole in Kansas.
Those women could have helped him get that.
Yeah, but supposedly the person that was creepy camping next to Gabby had a vehicle.
Yeah, a white car, I believe.
But now
Or
that
not
we know
Gabby,
that
the girls.
But now that we know that this guy obviously had a best friend and he was going to birthday parties with him, he might have had a car.
Yeah, they could have helped him easily. He was a nice guy. Why wouldn't they help him? And someone is asking how long Brian would go to prison if he's caught.
Well, I'm pretty sure Wyoming has the death sentence, right?
Yes, and also 59 Jace, thank you for telling us about Steven Castaneda. We definitely checked that out.
Oh, we're going to play that. Yeah, that's his name. I was going to actually go find his comment. Where is he? Where is he? I don't see him.
It's 59J.
Yeah, I was looking there. 59J. Oh, yes. Oh, we have the video. We have the video with us tonight. I was actually going to mention you before we played the video, but yes, we have it, and that was some creepy stuff.
The tent was only $26. That's definitely feasible.
Okay, so I'm only going to read this part because this is basically showing that this dude was camping. So John Cole posted an image of a tent identical to Gabby Petito's while on the run. Authorities discovered that Colt had made a new Facebook profile under the name Jason Holt, where he posted numerous photos of his campsite, tent, motorcycle, and him posing with a shotgun and a magazine-fed rifle.
He had a gun.
Yep.
The girls were shot, correct?
Yep. One of those images which Colt shared to a dispersed camping Facebook group featured a tent identical.
The more I hear, the more I feel like he was connected.
Well, if you guys remember the map, he was just 60, not even 60 miles to the due east of those girls. So, and it was on, like, the girls, he would have passed the girls on his way to where he was arrested.
And if he's being social out in the town, who's to say he didn't run into them?
I mean, he's just having a grand old time. They even have a dog. Eating good.
He's got kids.
Yeah. So, Jason Holt with his new identity. I don't know. I'm not saying he had anything to do with the girls, but he was definitely in the area, and he is definitely a scary. I don't know if the tents were exactly alike. They were close. But yeah. So he definitely had the gear to set up a campsite so that even though he was on a motorcycle, he was able to set up a camp. Did he set up a camp next to the girls? I don't know. It's interesting, though.
Dorothy says Wyoming hasn't executed anyone since 1973.
Yeah, hello, Dorothy. Yeah, I saw that. But and plus, he could come back and say that he strangled her in a crime of passion, or maybe during or whatever, and it just went too far. Hello, Kathy. I myself am going to let Gabby rest. I'm not going to talk about Gabby unless there's like an update that Brian was found. They took the memorial down.
Elizabeth Mason, we did look into the stickers on the van.
Yeah, we sure did. His little constellation stickers.
I think she's mentioning I don't know how to say that, bunger.
Bunger. They have a camp in New York also. It's one of the stickers on the van. Look it up. We got the van stickers right here. Let me look at the van stickers.
Are they putting the bench up in Florida, or where are they going to put that?
Put what?
Hummingbird said they're going to put a bench with Gabby's name on it.
All right, there's the stickers. Which one? The one that has like the bottom one with the round rim, the red rim,
I think that was the one. I believe that's correct. In Florida. Awesome. So yeah, I guess the sticker was a clothing brand.
You got those stickers. You got something that looks like it's behind the rack. You got that crazy little light bulb guy, the Zion, and then I don't know what that one is. So this one right here. Is that the Bungerville one?
Yes.
Okay. So what do you think, Elizabeth? He's at the camp in New York where the clothing comes from?
Webby Bird said they really liked your Michael Vaughn video.
Thank you, Webby Bird.
Elizabeth says, yes, also a camp, also the clothing he wears, same name.
Is that where you think that he is at a New York campground? I think he's in the belly of a whole bunch of different animals. All right, let's get into Cassidy Rainwater and the two complete nut jobs. I'm gonna give Kenneth Smith the benefit of the doubt because even though,
go ahead.
You go ahead.
What about the third guy? I say there's a trigger person. I don't know that it was Kenneth, but I don't think it was just two.
No, I'm talking about Wayne Barty.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Kenneth Smith's connection, the 46-year-old that has a very bad record. Guys, this may sound weird, but a lot of the research that we've done, and maybe Michaels has seen the same thing, it seems to be SO people, for some reason, are also into cannibalism. I don't know what the connection is, but there is definitely a strong connection in the force.
It's called gynophagia. It's almost like a kink. It's really weird.
Yeah, we have dug, guys. We're not pulling this stuff like out of little articles. Like we have dove into the dark web.
I'm learning more about things than I ever wanted to.
Yeah, we're probably not going into the dark web for a while, but yeah, there's definitely cannibal trafficking.
Recipes.
We found the recipe for leg of man. That was absolutely mind blowing. Like, you just can't make it up. But unfortunately, guys, we couldn't come through and find the pictures of Cassidy Rainwater. But we found a lot of other interesting, not interesting, very scary things. Michaels, would you agree with what I'm saying? All right, here we go. So we're done with good old Kenneth. I did check Divine Link, and the weird thing about Divine Link and John Colt is that he is still there. If he did not do a crime in Utah, then why are they keeping him there? I know that they have 30 days to extradite him back to Kansas, but why are they not moving him yet? Why would you want to keep a complete nut job around when you can send him back to a hospital? And he's not
There's
even in a mental hospital.
definitely a reason.
He's in a regular jail. I mean, you can't make it up. And there he
I
is.
would also rather starve to death.
They are still holding him in Utah, in custody. Sevier County Jail. I'm probably saying that wrong. So look at the booking date. Can you guys see that, or do I have to go bigger? Can you see that?
I can see it.
September 28th, 2021. That was literally 10 days after the girls were found at the campground shot. So, I think that's weird. I have an alert on him to let me know when he's going to be moved, but so far they're keeping him there.
Have we heard of the German cannibal Armin Muse? Yes, we have. I've watched a few documentaries on that guy way before this. He is a creep. But at least he gets consent.
You sure
McRibs.
can't, but that's way down the rabbit hole. Have you heard of spirit cooking? Yeah, we heard of a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We saw a lot. We heard of a lot, and it was definitely, I don't know if interesting the word. It was creepy. The scary part is that people actually go in there looking like to meet people of their own kind, and then the groups you can go to. Then this one got a message, and I said right then, okay, let's go delete it right now. We're out of here. We are done for right now.
Yeah, as soon as I made the profile, people just started making all kinds of messages. It was nuts. I was creeped out.
Hey, Patricia. Okay, so the weird thing too about these guys is James Phelps, even though he's in Dallas County Jail because I've called to verify it, he's still not showing up in the system. Timothy Norton is showing up in the system. Kenneth Smith is a naughty boy. He is on the list for being a predator, right?
Which one was that?
The one with the big eyes.
Yes, not a predator. Though, was he the one who was arrested at the school?
That's Wayne Barty with the big eyes that looks like he's tweaking. Let me
Correct.
see if I have his picture. The tweaker looking guy. These are the two. This is Phelps. Oh, these two are just, yeah, we got Phelps on the left and we got Timothy Norton on the right. Those are the ones that are in jail. Separated. This one is in Dallas County, Phelps, and he's in Greene County. But Phelps is not in the system.
Which just blows my
weird.
mind.
This guy, who is also a predator, at one time had the address to where Phelps and Kenneth were living and supposedly where they were letting Cassidy live to help her out. I don't think I saved the picture of the tweaker guy. I think I got rid of it.
I don't
Because
blame you.
Oh, and here's the information too. See, this Kenneth Smith guy once had the address at 386 Moon Valley, and in my opinion, that is a cannibal farm.
Are you showing something?
Oh, I didn't show it. Oh
It's
shit!
not showing to me.
Let me go back to my pictures. Hang on, guys. Sitting here showing things. Okay. These are the creepers who got arrested. Come on. Any day. Okay. We got Phelps on the left and Timothy Norton on the right. The one on the right is in jail. You can find him. He's in Greene County. Phelps
He's
on the left,
been
Dallas County, and he's not, there's no listing for him. Nowhere. Not on Vine, not on Missouri site, not on Greene County, not on Dallas County. You can't find him. So we called, and the rude officer assured us that he was in Dallas County jail. This guy is Kenneth Smith. He's a bad guy. At one point, which I'm going to show you right here, he had the same address of James Phelps and Timothy Norton on the cannibal farm. In my opinion, that's what it is. 386 Moon Valley Road. He's not in custody. We've called. He's probably the trigger man. The one that set the fire. But that's just my opinion. And I
think he started it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that if he didn't start it, he might have had something to do with whatever was going on there.
The odds of that fire starting itself or just randomly and then having multiple detonation devices, it just screams that they were trying to hide the evidence.
And I'm convinced, because we're going to show you a video, guys, in a couple of minutes, where the neighbor to this property is a young YouTuber. He's got like 300,000 subs. He makes golf clubs. He has golf clubs. He's got a couple of videos out, but he's building a golf club on his property next to this. And guys, when you see it's creepy.
This poor guy did not even realize what he was seeing.
But we're going to show you what he saw, and it's almost scary, and it's a total trigger warning. But this red circle is where I honestly believe the cage was at. You can't tell me different. I just totally believe maybe the cage, or did they find Cassidy there? I mean, I'm waiting to know how they found Cassidy. Was she in a detailed bag, or was she in this right here?
There are several questions about them being related. We haven't found any kind of relation between the two. I think they might just be friends.
No, they're not related. And what they are is that we're looking into Phelps's other property, because supposedly, I don't know, you know about that. You say what you heard about that.
So on the video we watch coming up with Steven, he mentions that this was happening on multiple properties, not just this one. So we knew that he had this property, but now we're having to go back and see where else he might have links to.
Kathy Chambers, they resemble each other. Yeah, they resemble each other because they're probably have the same diet.
Same diet, yeah.
Wait, I see someone new in here. Let me say hello. Let me look. SPFX artist. Hello. After looking at BL last postings, I think he is hunkering down in caves that he knows of. Train hopping or traveling interstates undetected. A book he read was about traveling to a city to hide. Yeah, we're actually reading one of his books right now in the book club. we just read last night. You guys missed it. You guys missed it.
And it's getting really good.
Yeah. Last night we actually had the first book club with Chuck Palahniuk Lullaby. And it's narrated on an Audible book, and it was actually, we did 5 chapters, and it is really good, really creepy, and I cannot wait to get to the next chapters, actually. So, H-Bird, can you drop the Discord link, please, if you're still here, so you guys can join and come to book club, because it was, I thought it was good.
And then we can talk about it a little in here too, and no one will be confused.
Yeah, and also, if you guys decide to come into book club, we can put out a thing for next week and see if there's new people, because I know a couple of you asked. So what I planned on doing was putting chapter 1 through 5, since I recorded it, on a private video upload so that you can catch up the ones that are still interested. It's very good.
Just Jack said he joined the Discord, but they weren't sure where to go for the book club.
Yeah, when you get into the Discord and you'll see links to the left, you probably only see a couple, but you'll see one that says under the voice chat tab, it will say relax. What does it say?
Relaxed Voices, I believe.
Relax voice chat or something. And
Let me look at my Discord.
And that's where we have it. So once you're in the lobby, under the voice chat link, you'll see relaxed voice chat. It's
relaxed voice for everyone.
Yeah, the only voice chat you'll probably see under the voice channels. And then you click in there, and then I share my screen, and then it plays in the room. Lanky, you missed it. It was very good. But like I said, what I'll do is tomorrow I will upload it, and I will drop the link in the Discord lobby. And I'll leave it up for like, I don't know, 48 hours, and then I'll take it down. Okay, girl, so you understand that you're on the next part up, because I don't want to laugh and get yelled at.
Definitely.
And we're going to show the video of the neighbor's video of when he went to check out the scene. And he went there before it burned down, but we'll discuss that when we get to it. But there's 2 more things that we want to show you. And where are they? Did I not save those ones? Oh, here we go. So this is the one that I can read. The other one is the one that you have.
Okay. Hold on one sec.
So you can do this. We can do this one first.
Okay.
Let me make it bigger. Guys, the only reason she's going to read this, because I don't want to get nervous and laugh, and then you guys think that I'm laughing at cannibalism. Let me play the video first. Oh, this is just the video one. Okay. Let me play this video. So, 2 southern Missouri men have been charged in kidnapping of a woman missing since July after photos of her nearly naked and apparently locked in a cage were found one of their phones. So we know whose phone they found it on. They found it on James Phelps' phone. But let me just show you guys, in case you guys don't know, because I have to show you anyways, because we have to understand who we are talking about. And it's this poor woman. I cannot imagine what she went through at the end of her life.
If it's as bad as I'm imagining, and it's always worse.
And look at how sweet her smile is.
No one deserves that.
And they were going to take her in to help her get on her feet. Yeah, monsters. Okay, here we go. I'm going to mic down.
Now there are more questions than answers in the disappearance of a 33-year-old Missouri woman. Cassidy Rainwater hasn't been seen or heard from since at least July 25th. With Rainwater still missing, two men, Timothy Norton and James Phelps, are in custody and charged with kidnapping in connection to the case. They're accused of locking her up in a cage inside this small cabin near Lebanon, Missouri. Adding to the mystery, just hours before, both men were scheduled to make their first appearance in court. That same cabin burned to the ground. The Dallas County Sheriff's Office has been tight-lipped about the case. In a lengthy post online, the sheriff condemned rumors about the case, adding, quote, "No, you are not entitled to a play-by-play of an ongoing investigation. If you want to be in the know, we are hiring along with every other law enforcement agency in the country." And
I cannot wait till I call him tomorrow.
Good times.
I think we're going to have to move to Missouri and join the law enforcement agency. Hello, Angel and Marty. All right, so you're on, girl.
Okay, give me just a second. Can you still hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. New details have been released about last week's fire at the home of Dallas County's kidnapping suspect James Phelps, thanks to a report from Springfield Fire Department. Last week, Phelps' house on Moon Valley Road in Lebanon burned down while he was sitting in jail in connection with the disappearance of 33-year-old Cassidy Rainwater. The Dallas County Sheriff's Office told media on scene that a suspicious device and possible tripwire had been found while crews were responding to the fire, so the Springfield Fire Department's bomb squad was called to help. An initial report obtained by the news leader from Springfield Fire Department says the bomb squad discovered 2 devices on Phelps property after arriving at the scene of the fire, both of which appeared to be attached to a tripwire. Initially, law enforcement had said there was only one device, which was detonated at the scene. According to the report, the devices were made out of mortar tubes as well as balloons and coiled fuses. At the scene of the fire, which happened a day before Phelps and his co-defendant Timothy Norton had a court appearance. The Dallas County Sheriff's Office told Springfield TV station KOLR 10 that flames resulted in a total loss of Phelps's home. The cause of the fire is still under investigation by the Missouri Department of Fire Safety, which could not be reached for comment by press time. Phelps and Norton are set to appear next month for a preliminary hearing. Both have been held in jail without bond since mid-September and are charged with first-degree kidnapping, facilitating a felony, and inflicting injury and terrorizing. Court documents say law enforcement has evidence Rainwater has been held in a cage on Phelps' property.
Wait a second. Did you hear what you just said? The terrorizing.
Yes. Facilitating a felony, kidnapping, inflicting injury, and terrorizing.
Yeah, they were monsters. You guys wait till what's going to come out of this. This is going to be like opening up Dr. Lecter's like hidden closet.
Yes. Court documents say law enforcement has evidence Rainwater had been held in a cage on Phelps's property. The sheriff has indicated additional charges are coming soon for Phelps and Norton as rumors spread online about the case. And that is the end of that. And I do have to say, in all of this, we have learned that cannibalism itself is not necessarily a crime. So they might have to go about this in a roundabout way. So just keep that in mind as things progress.
Yes, because we have done such extensive digging, like you can't even imagine. Like, what were they saying about? I don't think it's even a crime. Oh, we have to mention someone else. Dorchester, what's his name? The one in Kansas.
I'm gonna have to look at my notes, but yeah, in almost every state, cannibalism is technically legal, but I think you could get charged for things like tampering with a human body and things like that.
No. Missouri, it's not illegal.
Yeah, I think you would have to go about it in a roundabout way, though.
It's something that if you had to do it to survive.
But this was not needed to survive. Yeah, mutilation of a corpse.
So I asked jokingly, what does that mean? Like if your older parent passed away in your house, I mean, could you eat them?
I mean, okay, so I've read about different cultural practices, and in some cultures, that is what they do. That is just their normal death practice. So I guess if you had some sort of
Trigger warning.
yes. But I mean, it is educational. Different cultures handle things differently. So I guess it's not beyond the scope of things that could happen.
Hey, Benton. Yeah,
But these guys,
you can't make that up.
they didn't do this for culture or because they were starving. This was just awful.
Okay, so let's watch the video of the first part. I'm probably going to play it like 3 or 4 times so you guys could actually understand what you're seeing, because I'm still not sure what I was seeing. And then he kind of just gets into talking about his golf course and his golf clubs and his golf tees and this, and then he decides he's going to take a ride to the cannibal farm. So
yeah, he's not a true crime guy.
No, he's a golfer. He's a golfer kind of guy. Let me get the video loaded up.
Before you do that, AVH said Missouri 194.425, abandonment of a corpse without notifying authorities, penalty 1, abandonment of a corpse is a Class C felony.
Okay. Yeah, we were looking into Kansas because there was another, we're not going to even talk about his story tonight, but there's another creeper that was released from jail for, I can't even discuss that right now, for what he did. I mean, oh my God.
I actually found a picture of the Agori culture practicing cannibalism.
We have menus how to make leg of lamb. Tell your husbands, girls, they better they better behave themselves.
If they don't like what you're cooking, it could be worse.
And there's so much sage in that recipe that whatever bad spirits were around, they definitely won't be there. Okay, let's watch this video, guys. This is creepy. I'm going to mic down. Let me share my screen. I'm going to go into complete full screen on this one. Come on, you can do it. It's coming. It's probably petrified to even show. Come on. All right, guys.
So it's just weird knowing that just this guy that was living right around here was just hunting people.
Oh, I hear people down there.
Welcome back to another Steamy Case video. I haven't been to the horse track in a long time, and the first video back is a wild one. As you guys know, back in July, you guys remember the people came up to me, they were whistling, the woman was screaming, the guy, Scott, came up the river, and all this crazy stuff was happening. I don't know if you guys see, he's up there. Is that a ghost or is that a human?
Do you guys see this? I'm going to back it up again. I mean, you cannot make this up.
I don't know if you guys see, he's up there. Is that a ghost or is that a human?
Let's go help him.
Then, not even a couple weeks, like a couple days later, the horse track was get flown over by the FBI because of the marijuana or whatever in the back 5 acres that I have. And then about a month and a half later, I come back down here. Before we get into it, let's try to get to, we're at 193,000 subscribers, almost at 94.
All right, guys. So this is basically where he talks about his golf course and everything. Now we're going to go to where he decides to go for a ride.
Yeah, someone was yelling help.
Yeah, we'll go back to her one more time. It's just so creepy, so I think it's right about here. Let's see.
No one's allowed down there besides like the FBI and everything. I'm gonna pack this up real quick.
Yeah, let me go back
property,
a little
I can do
bit.
what I want. Slash the lake will be up here. We're gonna put a dam. Alright, we're not. Here's the deal. No one's allowed down there besides like the FBI and everything. I'm gonna pack this up real quick. If this was on my property, I could do what I want, but I'm not gonna mess around with the situation. It's not my property. I don't want to go to jail today. I mean, I'm sure I've been without knowing it around them, but that's the closest I've been to living next to my grandparents. It's kind of weird. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know. This is just a weird investigation that's going on. News reporter Steve. All right, boys. Well, update number 2. Supposedly they have cleared the scene. Right now they're saying nothing. Nothing's been found. Nothing. Even though I know this is gonna be one of the biggest things. This is gonna be all over everything. This is weird. I don't know what it is, but it's crazy. It's disgusting, and we're coming up on it right now. I'm actually getting scared. My parents talked to the cops, and they're like, "Yeah, you don't want to be here at night. It's very scary." I'm like, "Huh?" That's where everything's been found. At this little tiny house with a rusty Ford. The FBI been down here. The
good old Jeepers Creepers.
You're telling me that little tiny house is where this man? I thought I saw a face. Look at that. They took out. You guys can't see that. They took out a freezer. Look at all those freezers just sitting there. Man, I'd pay to drive down there right now. But from the cop, he's like, "Yeah, there's gonna be ghost hunters out here." So that makes me think that it was possibly, I don't know. The guy was shook, and nothing's been released yet. And if you were to take a direct line and walk that way, in probably 15 minutes you could be at the horse track. You could walk onto the horse track. This is just before everything else, but that's going to be all over the news. It's going to be big, like on national news. And I'm the first news reporter right here, and it was right next to the horse track. And you can literally just walk through the woods and be on the horse track. I mean, it's a small town. As soon as something happens, word gets out and it just spreads like wildfire. And I'm gonna believe the neighbors, because usually they're literally always right. This man was which is freaking scary.
Let's go back to that one part one more time, guys, and I just can't even watch it again. I'm gonna drop this man's link in the comments in 1 second and down in the description. So let's see this poor woman, or what, I can't figure it out.
Oh, I hear people down there.
As you guys know, back in I don't know if you guys see, he's up there. Is that a ghost or is that a human?
Let's go help him.
I don't know if you guys see, he's up there. Is that a ghost or is that a human?
Let's go help him.
Guys, this is
a ghost
the
or is that a
property
human?
that the cannibals supposedly own. That is supposedly the neighbors. Hi, Justice Jenny. That's supposedly the neighbors, good old Phelps, and I don't think she's washing herself. It doesn't even look like she has bottoms on, Benton.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. She kind of looks pretty naked.
She looks so exhausted that it looks like she's putting her hands on her knees to, like, I don't even want to imagine what's going on with that. I can't even speculate, but that's not normal. It's blurry though, but that just, whew, I don't know.
And he addressed why he didn't go over there to see if everything was okay. His friends were kind of creeped out at the time, and they were saying that it could be a trap, so they just kind of avoided them.
Yeah, he said that he was afraid it was a trap with the girl. This is Missouri. That's normal. Oh gosh, that's scary.
Yikes.
I don't think there's anything normal about that. So that's the update on them. I am calling good old officer, what is his name? Sheriff Rice. Once I go get my Cheetos and my box wine.
We definitely have to have those things first, or no deal.
Yeah, AVH, but that was a drunk person on the property of where he drove by. The time that Cassidy was missing. Oh, I don't know if I can handle it one more time. She says, help me. I'm going to drop his link to the video and his channel, even though it's just about golf clubs, except for that one video, to where he knows he's just like, holy cow. Because then he goes back to when he was actually filming and he remembers seeing that woman, help me. And he says he didn't know if it was a setup or what. And because of the other comment, being in Missouri drunk is not abnormal, maybe that's what he thought too. I don't know.
I mean, you're never going through the woods looking for cannibals on your property.
Yeah, but I mean, she definitely, I don't know, I can't tell what she has on the bottom of her, but I do see it doesn't look like it's either nude clothing or there's nothing on the bottom. I just don't see it. Looks like she's missing some pants. Hello, Carpe. You don't think she looks like she's missing pants?
Either that or super short shorts. Like cut off.
More like a thong. I think that's it though with all of the updates. But I did want to play a little bit of the Springfield3 documentary and close it out on that. Jessica, did he call the cops? No, he said in the video that he wasn't sure if it was a trap or a setup for him to go over there.
He did speak to the police though whenever he went to the Moon Valley property originally. And I'm pretty sure he told them then. He had a full conversation with the cop.
Yeah, he definitely did. And he just happened to go by there and get that footage before it caught on fire. AVH said a bathing suit.
It could be.
I don't know what she was wearing. But that was actually her screaming, help me. And that wasn't something that he edited in. But we've reached out to him. He hasn't responded yet. But I did notice he uploaded today. It would be cool if he would tell us exactly the situation of when he saw her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. I think he said around the end of July, but I don't know if he said a date.
I would have called the police definitely, or I probably would have screamed out to her, like, are you okay? Do you need help? I don't know what she says. It sounds like, I know she's saying help, Angel and Marty. Hello, Annabelle. But even those vehicles on the property, it's so like the Wrong Turn movies that it's not even funny.
Oh, I could
I
see a
mean,
movie being made off this for
and
sure.
then who said earlier about that being not true about the cannibalism and they had the meat hooks in their bathroom? Yeah, I'm not buying that they were not eating people.
You don't just have meat hooks in your bathroom as your normal everyday decor.
Yeah. And unless you're working as a butcher and you're bringing home extra meat to feed your family, I don't see why you would even have a meat hook in your house.
No.
Excuse me, your cabin.
Especially if you have land. If you're really draining any kind of meat, you could put that anywhere. You don't need to put it in your bathroom, sir.
Yeah, that's creepy. But regardless if the Springfield 3 are connected, now I'm interested in that story. But that's all the updates, right?
I believe so.
And we're going to look into James Phelps's past addresses and see where they are. Because we still have the third guy, Kenneth Smith, who is the one that had the address at Moon. I'm brain dead almost. After an hour,
Moon
I'm
Valley.
completely brain dead. Moon Valley Road.
Moon Valley
This
Road.
one. This SP had that address at one point. Now it says 11/2015, which I do see that. I'm not blind. But 2015 was not long ago because supposedly James has lived there for a very long time.
And he doesn't live too far from them now.
No, he doesn't. And he lives right between them and Echo Lloyd.
Correct.
Birthday pie. Hummingbird, stop. No, Hummingbird, it's brain dead. I mean, there's other things that we need to find out, and of course, I need to call Sheriff Rice tomorrow and see if he yells at me. I think I'm going to record that one though. What is the law in recording phone calls? And where is he? Jeez, I'm brain dead.
He is
Missouri,
in,
Buffalo.
yes.
Buffalo, Missouri. Oh, I'm calling him Angel. Just like when I called Chief Huff and he called me back and said, "Hello, may I please speak to Mar?" I was like, oh.
He was so nice.
Yes, he
I
was.
don't think it's going to be anything like that with Mr. Rice.
I'll kill him with kindness.
I don't know if it's sheriff or detective at this point.
All right,
Sheriff,
guys.
I think.
I am going to close it out with the first 20 minutes of this really interesting documentary on the Springfield 3. So I'm going to say goodnight now, but I will be in chat. AVH says, I don't think he will talk to you. Well, if he doesn't, he doesn't. At least I'm like, I said I tried. I think he wants to. I think he wants to yell at a YouTuber. And when I tell him that I got my Cheetos and my boxed wine, he might find it funny and come talk to me. You never know.
Definitely worth a shot.
So, guys, definitely let's watch this first 20 minutes of this documentary on the Springfield 3. And I'm going to get into chat. Good night, all. I'm going to be here. I'm just going to get off voice.
Do you know what the future holds? 80% get genetically meaningful health info from their 23andMe DNA reports. 80%. That's 8 out of 10 people who could get something enlightening, something empowering, something that could change everything. Info that could give you greater control of your own health. And it's right there in your DNA. So, if 80% get genetically meaningful health info, the question is, will you be part of the 80%?
Do you know what the future holds?
Susie Streeter, Stacy McCall, and Cheryl Levitt disappeared on Sunday, June 7th, 1992. When a person disappears without a trace, often the most critical information is hidden in their actions and words from the days before they vanished. The three women's last known whereabouts may hold the clues to what happened to them. Cheryl Levitt, her daughter Susie Streeter, and Susie's friend Stacy McCall mysteriously vanish just hours after attending the girls' high school graduation.
Now you have three females that have just basically vanished without a trace.
There's an initial shock that is overwhelming. It was just a nightmare.
I've got to start trying to find her now.
But this bizarre missing persons case fuels more rumors than answers.
If they find remains there, then we're going to have to deal with it.
I believe that the three missing women are buried close to Springfield.
I am willing to be wrong. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
February 1992. It's a bitter winter in the Queen City of the Ozarks, Springfield, Missouri. 42-year-old hairdresser and mother of two, Cheryl Levitt, is moving into a new home with her 19-year-old daughter, Susie Streeter. They're downsizing to a more modest home on Delmar Street after Cheryl's recent divorce.
It was a small little house that had incredible potential. And I think at the time she was going to fix it up and flip it and buy a bigger house.
Cheryl is a hard-working single mom and tries to instill her work ethic in her daughter. Susie is a senior at Kickapoo High School and works at the local movie theater after school. A few months after the move, Susie begins focusing on her upcoming high school graduation. She is spending a lot of time with her friend, Stacy McCall, who she's known since childhood.
You know, it was senior week and they had a lot of activities. They were, going to the senior breakfast, that type of organization type thing.
Susie and Stacy are feeling nostalgic and want to make the most of their last days of high school together, according to Stacy's mother, Janice McCall.
They started focusing back on their childhood. They were realizing that not all of them were going to be going to college and that they would kind of split apart a little bit.
Janelle Kirby is a friend of both Stacy and Susie in high school.
The three of us didn't hang out a whole lot together. It was more, I did a lot of stuff with Stacy, and I also did stuff with Susie.
The three teens have big plans for their summer.
We were ready for the water parks, the pools, shopping, and getting ready for college.
In the fall, Janelle and Stacy McCall will attend Missouri State University.
Stacy and I plan to go to college together and possibly join a sorority.
Susie tells her brother she would like to follow in her mother Cheryl's footsteps and become a hairstylist.
Mom and Susie were extremely close. They understood each other, they were bonded, they got each other. I believe Susie wanted to go into cosmetology because she looked up to my mom so much, and she wanted to be like my mother.
Kickapoo High School is planning an alcohol-free graduation party for the night of June 6th. It's called Project Graduation.
They had a pledge that they had to sign that they would come without any alcohol or anything else and would be there all night long, and they could not leave. They would be locked in.
But the girls decide not to sign up and make their own plans.
They wouldn't have been unlocked until about 8 o'clock the next morning, which would have changed things dramatically.
It's graduation day in Springfield, Missouri. The girls attend the ceremony at MSU campus.
Stacy and I went shopping the night before, bought all kinds of new clothes. You know, everybody was just really happy. Graduation was coming. We couldn't be happier.
And I was patting myself on the back because all my daughters had made it through graduation. We didn't have any catastrophes. All of them would be in college. So we were looking forward to that.
After the graduation, the three girls head out for family dinners and later meet up at Janelle's house for a party at her neighbor's.
There was a series of parties.
The first ever Genesis GV70.
80% get genetically meaningful health info from their 23andMe DNA reports. 80%. That's 8 out of 10 people who could get something enlightening, something empowering, something that could change everything. Info that could give you greater control of your own health. And it's right there in your DNA. So, if 80% get genetically meaningful health info, the question is, will you be part of the 80%?
Do you know what the future holds?
Parties that the girls were to attend that evening and then travel to Branson, Missouri, which is approximately 30 minutes from here.
The girls plan to sleep at a motel in Branson, close to Whitewater, an outdoor water park, where they will enjoy their first full day of summer vacation.
It's going to be a beautiful day to just hang out on our first day graduated.
Stacy's mother, Janice, is not happy about the girls' plan to sleep at a motel. Then, she hears from Stacy around 10 p.m. She's relieved to learn the girls have decided to stay at their friend Janelle's house instead.
We were having fun at the party. It was getting late. We just didn't want to leave the party and drive to Branson, so we just decided to go to the water park the next day.
Around the same time, Susie's mom, Cheryl, is home alone. As usual, she's busy working on a project in her house on Delmar Street.
Around 9:30 to 10 o'clock p.m., Cheryl Levitt was at home refinishing a piece of furniture that was in her bedroom and was planning to go to bed that evening.
After a long night of celebrating, the girls are ready to settle in for the night. But Janelle's house is packed with out-of-town relatives. They can't stay there after all.
My whole family lives in Kansas, and everybody came for my graduation.
So therefore, there was not a lot of room.
Their plans change again. Janelle stays at her own house, but Susie and Stacy decide to go to Susie's house on Delmar Street.
So they decided to leave and go to Susie's house and spend the night down there.
They leave in separate cars and agree to call Janelle in the morning when they wake up.
Looking back, I wish I'd begged them to stay and, not let them leave, and we just would have all slept on the floor together.
It's a bright, sunny morning when Janelle wakes up, but she gets no phone call from her friends.
It was probably like 9 o'clock when I woke up. I hadn't heard from them, so I called. No one answered.
Janelle calls the house many times, trying to reach her friends Susie and Stacy, but no one answers.
Mike, my boyfriend, picked me up, and so we went to Susie's house. I had never been to the house before this. They had just moved there recently.
When Janelle and Mike arrive at the house on Delmar Street, it appears at first as though everyone is home.
When they arrived, Susie's vehicle was there, Stacy's vehicle was there, parked in the driveway, and Cheryl Levitt's car was in the carport area. So all three of the vehicles were at the residence.
They approach the house, but even before they knock, they see something out of the ordinary.
And when we got to the front porch, there was glass everywhere.
Janelle immediately notices that the globe covering the porch light at Susie's house is shattered, but the light bulb itself is intact. Nobody answers the door, but they think perhaps they are still sleeping. She and Mike grab a broom and sweep up the mess.
And so Mike just cleaned it up just to do a nice thing. We just went on in and was yelling for him, and no one answered.
Inside the house, everything appears normal at first. They peer into the rooms and see that Susie and her mother's beds look slept in.
In the bathroom, you could tell they took their makeup off. The jewelry was sitting there. The washcloths where they'd used to take their makeup off was sitting there.
It seems Susie and Stacy made it home from Janelle's house the previous night and got ready for bed.
There was basically no indication that there was anything out of the ordinary other than maybe they just weren't there at the time.
But as the minutes tick by in the empty house, Janelle can't help but sense that something just doesn't seem right. Cheryl's dog, a terrier named Cinnamon, is unusually anxious and barking.
Cinnamon was very excited. She was running around, and she wanted me to hold her, and like something was wrong.
The family dog was left unattended, which was not normal for this group.
And both Susie and her mother's cigarettes and lighters, items they rarely leave behind, are on the table.
My mom was a chain smoker. She went everywhere with her cigarettes. I mean, if she got out of bed and went into the living room to say something, she brought a cigarette with her.
Although Janelle and Mike are puzzled, they decide to leave. They have no idea where Cheryl is, but assume Susie and Stacy have gone to the water park without them.
Back then, we didn't have cell phones. There was no way to get a hold of anybody.
Just then, the phone at the Delmar house rings, and when Janelle Kirby answers, she is confronted by a strange and disturbing call. Coming up, could the call be linked to the 3 missing women?
It was a brief call, and the person didn't identify themselves.
You know, you hear a lot about celiac, but I never thought my DNA would tell me I had a higher risk for it. I mean, I'm a food critic. I literally eat for a living. This could be a game changer.
Do you know what the future holds?
In a book, you can be anything. I spied all over the world. I climbed the Eiffel Tower. Whatever you do, it's gonna be epic. Read today, be anything tomorrow.
When Janelle Kirby does not hear from her friends, Susie Streeter and Stacy McCall, on the morning of June 7th, 1992, she drives with her boyfriend to Susie's house, where the 2 girls slept. They discover that no one is home. Just before leaving the house, the phone rings.
Janelle Kirby was inside the residence and answered the telephone, hoping that it was someone giving information of Stacy and Susie being located.
But the call isn't helpful. Quite the opposite.
It was a brief call, and the person didn't identify themselves. It was a male voice that made sexual innuendos, and she hung up, and immediately received a second call with also making sexual overtones.
Janelle hangs up, upset by the phone calls, which she thinks are probably a prank. She and Mike leave the house on Delmar Street, not sure if something is seriously wrong or if there's a logical explanation for their friend's absence. Meanwhile, Stacy's mother Janice and older sister Lisa are happily planning a trip to the local bridal shop to pick out Lisa's wedding dress. Janice tries to reach Stacy before heading out for the day. She calls Janelle Kirby's house, where, last she heard, her daughter was spending the night.
Janelle's sister answered the phone and she said she's not here. She said at the last minute, Stacy had decided to go and spend the night with Susie.
Janice is unhappy that Stacy didn't tell her about her change of plans, but there's nothing she can do for the moment. She doesn't have the new phone number for Susie's family's home on Delmar Street, so she goes to the bridal salon. She is irritated with her daughter, but believes she will see her later that day. It's now been 15 hours since anyone has seen or heard from Stacy McCall, Susie Streeter, or Susie's mom, Cheryl Levitt, but no one knows if they are actually missing. Stacy's mom, Janice, finally tracks down Susie's new phone number. When no one answers the phone, Janice drives over to Susie's house.
So I started opening the door and saying, hello, hello, anybody home?
Somewhat reluctantly, Janice decides to walk in and look around.
I felt like I really shouldn't be in here, but I've got to find out where Stacy is, and things are getting stranger by the minute.
Just like Janelle hours earlier, Janice notices some unusual things about the way the house was left. Her daughter's clothes from the previous night are neatly folded on the floor, but her t-shirt and underwear are missing.
I noticed that the TV was all fuzzy. Stacy's purse was sitting right next to Susie's purse, and right next to that on the floor was Susie's mom, Cheryl's purse. And I thought that was kind of strange. I think that's when I started feeling this is not right.
Janice is suddenly sick with worry. She calls the police to report Stacy missing.
And I was just really trying to hold it together. And they said, we are going to file this as a missing persons report.
It's late, so the officer asks Janice to come to the station the next morning. He makes an unsettling suggestion.
And that was, can you get their dental records? And for me, if they want dental records, they're thinking they might be dead. And I think it really hit me hard that there was something really bad going on. And I thought, I've got to start trying to find her now.
Janice gets pictures taken at graduation developed and sets out to do something unimaginable just 24 hours after the ceremony. She is creating a missing person poster for her daughter. With the help of the Springfield community, Janice distributes the posters statewide.
Hi, I'm Mrs. McCall, and this is my daughter. Okay. And they're missing, and we'd like to put posters in your windows, on your doors. Okay.
Soon, they appear across the country, dubbed by the media as the Springfield3. By now, police have developed a timeline. Sometime between the hours of 2 a.m., when the teenagers left Janelle Kirby's house, and 8 a.m., when people started calling Susie's house, something happened to the three women. To complicate things, well-meaning friends and family who went to the crime scene may have removed critical evidence.
I don't think they intentionally tried to contaminate the crime scene or anything, but there was quite a few items that were moved inside the residence before the police were called, mainly just searching for clues or where they may have gone.
During Janice's frantic search, she played Cheryl and Susie's answering machine, most likely erasing a message that may have contained a clue for investigators.
There was a particular phone call that was received that evening that the police were very interested in.
When people see this lab, I want them to know we get it right. The next gen of DNA analysis. You're in my kitchen now.
There was a kind of a strange message. It was a man, and I don't remember what the message was. And somehow it got deleted.
The investigators don't believe that this message had any connection to the prank phone calls received at the house by Janelle Kirby. But with the message erased, they will never know for sure. The community starts flooding the police with tips.
The amount of calls and the amount of tips that came in on this case was more than I'd ever seen in my entire career prior to, and really more than I've seen in my career since then.
In a strange coincidence, a neighbor of the McCalls reports a stolen vehicle the same night the three went missing. The owner of the car is a classmate of Susie and Stacy's.
We're requesting individuals to look for a burgundy 1987 Toyota Supra two-door.
At first, I think they were putting a connection on that, but it turned out that the car was stolen from our area and not by Susie's house.
When the car turns up, days later, police can find no connection to the women's disappearance. Then, a waitress at Cheryl and Susie's favorite restaurant tells police she saw the three women eating between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. on the night they went missing.
It's a popular place. There was quite a few people there. Everybody that we could locate and identify as being there that evening were interviewed, and we could not corroborate that any of the three people were actually at the restaurant that evening.
More than 30 officers are assigned to the case. The FBI is called in, but the leads go nowhere.
And all the resources were pooled, and still it was overwhelming for the Springfield Police Department in this investigation. It became an animal of its own, and it was really consuming the whole entire city.
The city is gripped by fear, and the police are perplexed by the lack of evidence.
Now you have 3 females that have just basically vanished off the face of the earth without a trace.
Coming up, a shocking declaration during a police interrogation.
And when I heard that, a chill went up my spine.
If he was hoping they were dead, did he do it?
Cheryl Levitt, her daughter Susie Streeter, and Stacy McCall have disappeared, seemingly without a trace. Police start gathering information on the 3 women. Nothing in any of their backgrounds suggests that they would simply run away, so they dig deeper. They start with Cheryl Levitt.
She worked and was a mother and did not have relationships at the time that would have been suspicious in nature.
Cheryl is a mother of 2. Bart Streeter, her eldest, is 9 years older than Susie.
She was my baby sister, and I loved her. She just was sunshine.
But police learn that Bart's relationship with his mother is more complicated.
My mom said to me the same thing all parents say eventually, and that's if you want to live under my roof, you have to live by my rules. I didn't want to live by that rule, so I left.
At age 17, Bart moves out, but the tension with his mother continues for years. According to Bart, his mother struggles in her relationships with men who often have problems with alcohol. Bart says he falls into the same pattern of behavior.
She had family members who drank to excess, and she wanted me to quit, and I wasn't going to.
After 10 years of living on his own, Bart returns to Springfield in the fall of 1991.
I had a rough breakup with my girlfriend, and I needed a new start.
Bart and his little sister Susie decide to get an apartment together, which gives them a chance to get to know each other again. But Bart says his drinking gets in the way.
If I had not been drinking to excess, the relationship that I have with my mother and sister would have been completely different. I do regret the drinking at that time.
One night at Susie and Bart's place, things spiral out of control.
Susie came home late from the movie theater, and she told me to turn my music down. And I told her no, I wasn't going to turn my music down. It was Friday, and I was partying.
Bart Streeter and Susie had a physical altercation where she was arguing over him being under the influence of alcohol or drugs at the time.
It got heated, and some stuff got thrown, and some stuff got broken, and we yelled and screamed and hollered at each other.
After the fight, Susie moves back in with her mother, Cheryl. They decide they have reached their limit with Bart's behavior and cut him out of their lives. Just 3 months later, before any chance of reconciliation, the two...
Adam and Eve is not giving you 10% off and not 20% off or even 40%. Your discount is even bigger. AdamandEve.com is giving you a whopping 50% off. But why stop there? Use offer code DM50 and you'll also get 10 free gifts, like a sexy item for him, a special toy for her, and something you'll both enjoy, plus 6 free bonus gifts and free shipping. So go to AdamandEve.com now for 50% off and more.
Two most important women in Bart's life are missing.
There was a message in my inbox to call the Springfield Police Department. They asked me if I had seen or heard from my mother and sister.
Streeter heads down to the station and quickly understands the situation is grave.
There's an initial shock that is overwhelming, and from there, it was just a nightmare.
The police immediately start looking at Bart Streeter as a suspect.
And looking into the background of the family and his family situation, there was things that piqued our interest as far as wanting to talk to him further about past disagreements with Susie and his mother.
Anybody that is close to the family, and especially men that are close to the family, brother, husband, boyfriend, you're initially considered a suspect.
Police question him to establish his whereabouts the night his mother and sister went missing. Streeter says he was drinking that evening and passed out on his couch. When police follow up on his story, both a neighbor and a girlfriend corroborate his alibi.
There was nothing I was not willing to tell them, and there was nothing that I didn't tell them.
He was cooperative, and he did talk to the police and did cooperate with interviews and showed a strong interest in the case from the beginning.
Bart Streeter passes a polygraph and is cleared as a suspect. He says he continues to be tormented by the disappearance of his mother and sister.
I believe that it actually broke me, that I would just sit and cry, and it hurts so bad that you are afraid you'll never be able to quit. But you don't know what to do.
Next, police turn their attention to Susie Streeter's past relationships.
Susie Streeter had questionable people in her background, and we definitely spent a lot of time investigating the individuals that she was close to.
They are particularly interested in Susie's ex-boyfriend, Dustin Rekla, a young man Susie broke up with just a few months prior to her disappearance. The couple split when Dustin was arrested for vandalism at a local cemetery. Police wonder if this crime could be linked to a motive in the disappearance. After driving around one night, Dustin and his friends vandalized a mausoleum, and the following morning, kids found skulls in a tree at a local park.
What we found interesting during this portion of the investigation is he was also dating Susie Streeter during this time frame.
Days later, a bizarre tip is called in to police. The tip refers to a deal brokered at a local pawn shop where some young men were selling gold teeth fillings.
At the time of the gold fillings, of course, we didn't know that it would tie back into the mausoleum.
Officers discovered that the gold fillings were removed from skulls taken by the mausoleum vandals.
The officer went to the pawn shop, and basically the pawn shop owner had taken the ID of the person pawning it, and it would check to a Mike Clay.
Michael Clay, a local teen, is apparently a close friend of Susie's ex-boyfriend, Dustin Rekla. When the officer visits the Clay residence to follow up, he observes some strange items in the house when Clay's sister answers the door. A poster with a large circle, candles, and an animal skull. Clay is not home at the time, but the unusual scene raises a lot of questions about the young man.
Which kind of led some to speculate that, there had been some type of, maybe a ritual or some type of a cult type activity had taken place. You're talking about Springfield, Missouri, where it's the heart of the Bible Belt, more or less. And when you start talking about ritualistic activity or some type of satanic activity, no one really wanted to talk about that. And even the police didn't want to talk about it.
When the officer returns to Clay's house the next day to question him, all of the suspicious paraphernalia is gone. Both Dustin Rekla and Michael Clay are brought to the police station for questioning about the vandalism. Susie Streeter provides police with a statement on her knowledge of the incident. It is testimony that is used to charge the two boys and will be presented in court in September of that year.
She was cooperative with the police investigation and provided us with a written statement. She wasn't even aware of what they were going to do until after it had been done.
Now, 4 months later, Susie, along with her friend Stacy and her mom, are missing. A week into the investigation, police call Clay and Rekla back to the station to find out if there's a connection between Susie's statement on the vandalism and her disappearance. A news crew in Springfield reports to the community that Michael Clay makes some incriminating statements during his interrogation.
And he stated he wished those bitches were dead. And when I heard that, a chill went up my spine.
If he was hoping they were dead, did he do it?
Why on earth would this...
Introducing new Degree Body Wash, made with Epsom salt and electrolytes, designed to reset muscles in the shower.
Charge up! Wow!
Try New Degree Maximum Recovery.
Life before cerebral was pretty taxing. I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety.
And I found cerebral.
Cerebral is an app that combines medication management and behavioral care all in one nice package.
I signed up, I got the video call, I got the pill shipped to me. Normal therapy costs about 3 times as much as cerebral.
Getting this type of care online, it really is a lifesaver.
Join today for just $30 at getcerebral.com.
Young men want them dead. And then for them to be missing, it's never made any sense.
He explained later in future interviews of why he made the statement, and he blamed having a disagreement or a personality conflict with the investigator that was questioning during this case.
Both Dustin Reckla and Michael Clay deny having anything to do with the disappearance of the three women. The night Susie, Cheryl, and Stacy disappeared, Dustin Reckla says he was at a local band's rock concert and after party.
It's not a definite airtight alibi. Michael Clay had a similar alibi that it couldn't be confirmed or denied for that evening.
But almost 3 weeks after the boys plead not guilty in court to institutional vandalism, the women are still missing.
At first, I really thought that maybe Michael and some of that group had gotten really angry at Susie and that maybe they held them somewhere and had them until after the court date. And I thought, well, maybe they'll let them go then.
Eventually, the boys changed their plea to guilty and are placed on probation. Police say both Michael Clay and Dustin Reckla have cooperated throughout the investigation, but neither can be ruled out as persons of interest. Coming up, a tip from 800 miles away brings to light a new suspect with a violent history.
He is almost as bad a nightmare as their disappearance.
Get more Disappeared online at investigationdiscovery.com. It's early July 1992, and the three women from Springfield, Missouri have been missing for 4 weeks. Family members and police are at a loss. Until a new and frightening piece of information surfaces about the morning of June 6th, the day of their disappearance.
The person reported she was on her front porch at 6:30 to 7 o'clock a.m. on Sunday and observed a van turning around. She thought it was Susie Streeter that was driving the van.
It's a disturbing story. Even though the sighting takes place in a neighborhood over a mile east of the house on Delmar Street, police believe it's a solid lead.
I think very likely Susie was the driver and gone the wrong way from her house, and you can't get to the freeway off that street. She said that she looked like she had been crying a lot, and that she pulled up in the driveway and she heard a man's voice in the back saying, "Don't do anything stupid, just back out, turn around and get us out of here."
The witness says she did not come forward earlier because she hadn't yet seen the missing persons poster. Once she did, she recognized Susie Streeter as the driver of the van. The witness describes the van in detail to police, and an official search gets underway.
The vehicle is identified as a 1964 to 1970 Dodge panel van.
The actual witness that reported it described it as a silver to green. She even described it as celery-colored van.
Police buy the same model van, painted green, and park it outside the police station with a sign asking people to contact them with any information. Soon, the calls start flooding in.
The paper boy thought he had seen a brown van in the neighborhood, but it was still dark, and he said he really couldn't tell. So they were looking for brown vans for a while.
The van in this case has been reported by numerous witnesses as various colors from brown to green to silver to white. It's been pretty much every color there is.
Police search thousands of vans. They find nothing linked to the three missing women. But police maintain that the sighting should not be discounted.
It's like most sightings that you have. It's hard to corroborate or fully confirm that that information is correct. However, we give a lot of credibility to the tip.
Janice McCall continues pushing the story in the news, hoping to spark more leads. And after a Florida family sees the three missing women's story on TV, it appears her plan has worked.
We had a tip on this case from Florida.
The tip steers police toward a new suspect named Robert Craig Cox.
Robert Cox is a very interesting individual that has a very lengthy criminal history.
The person with the tip believes Cox is connected to the disappearance of the Springfield3. The caller is the brother of a woman named Sharon Zellers, a 19-year-old who in 1978 was the victim of a gruesome crime.
Sharon Zellers was a young woman, and she worked and had gotten off late. Sharon was abducted and murdered.
At the time of Sharon.
Introducing new Degree Body Wash, made with Epsom salt and electrolytes, designed to reset muscles in the shower.
Charge up! Wow!
Try new Degree Maximum Recovery. Introducing new Degree Body Wash, made with Epsom salt and electrolytes, designed to reset muscles in the shower.
Charge up! Wow!
Try new Degree Maximum Recovery.
Sharon's murder, Robert Craig Cox had just graduated basic training as an Army Ranger. To celebrate, he took a trip to Florida with his family. Late one night, his mother had to rush him to the hospital when he returned to their motel room covered in blood.
He received injuries that evening, the night of the murder, where he had a portion of his tongue bitten off.
He told investigators he bit his tongue off.
The nurse said that he couldn't have bit his own tongue off because it was bit from someone the other direction.
Eventually, Sharon Zeller's body was found just a few hundred feet from Cox's motel room in a nearby sewage facility. Cox was questioned by police, but in the late 70s, DNA evidence wasn't advanced enough to be conclusive, so Cox was not charged. Instead, he traveled to California with the Army, where he was convicted of abducting and assaulting 2 women in 2 separate incidents. He is taken into police custody in 1985.
While he's in custody in California, they decide to indict him for Sharon Zeller's murder in Florida. They extradite him down. He has a jury trial. He's found guilty and placed on death row.
And his sentence was overturned by the Florida Supreme Court because they said they didn't have enough evidence on him.
Many of the jurors have been interviewed since then and are all convinced that he is responsible for the murder.
Cox was then extradited back to California to finish serving his sentence for the 2 abductions. But in 1992, Robert Craig Cox is paroled. He goes back to his hometown where his parents still live, Springfield, Missouri. Lacking sophisticated technology, it's difficult for local police departments to keep track of convicted criminals in their area.
There wasn't a big list like we have nowadays that people can check on.
So the Zellers family keeps tabs themselves on the man they believe is responsible for Sharon's murder. When they discover that Cox was in the area when the 3 women went missing, they tip off the Springfield Police Department. The police begin to zero in on Robert Craig Cox. Cox works as an underground utilities worker, a job which some speculate could be a good con for getting into a stranger's home at 2 a.m.
What better ruse in the middle of a night to knock on somebody's door and say, you got a gas problem? You know, he's got the uniform, the truck.
But his previous profession intrigues investigators even more. Cox was a mechanic at a used car lot where Stacy McCall's father was also employed as a salesman.
We have confirmed that they both worked there at the time.
My girls were very good and missed their daddy, and they would go up and take us dinner many times. You know, they thought, well, maybe he saw Stacy and was going after her.
Could Cox have seen Stacy McCall visiting her dad at work and targeted her?
Stacy was the type of young woman that when you saw her, she'd be striking and people would turn to look, you know, because she would make people's head turn.
But investigators think the likelihood of a planned abduction is slight, since Stacy and Susie made a last-minute decision to sleep at the house on Delmar Street.
On the night of the disappearance, Robert Cox indicated that he attended a golf tournament and spent the night at his parents' residence that evening, and then took his girlfriend and her child to church the following morning. We interviewed the girlfriend, and she also indicated that he took her and her child to church the next morning, which would have been Sunday.
With Cox's alibi corroborated, police are once again facing a dead end. Still, police do not rule out Cox as a person of interest in this case.
I can't think of another case that would come close to this level in the last 20 years that I've worked here. It is very uncommon to have 3 adult females just totally disappear from a residence.
Coming up, shocking rumors about the 3 missing women are taken more seriously.
Let's find out what's underneath that concrete. What my family's found.
3 years have passed since the 3 women from Springfield have gone missing, and the police are no closer to answers than they were at the onset of this investigation. In March 1995, a fateful event brings investigators back to a person of interest in the case. Robert Craig Cox, who has since moved to Texas, is arrested for aggravated robbery. When police in Springfield hear about it, they decide.
Introducing new Degree Body Wash, made with Epsom salt and electrolytes, designed to reset muscles in the shower.
Charge up! Wow!
Try New Degree Maximum Recovery. Introducing new Degree Body Wash, made with Epsom salt and electrolytes, designed to reset muscles in the shower.
Charge up! Wow!
Try New Degree Maximum Recovery.
To revisit Cox's alibi in the case of the Springfield 3. When they re-interview his former girlfriend, she provides a story very different from her original statement.
During this interview, she recanted her previous statement, saying that she had talked to Robert Cox just prior to our interview, and that she had indicated she was with him at church when she really wasn't.
Robert Craig Cox could charm anyone, and apparently he had told her that if the police came out, she was to say that.
Basically said she provided the initial story because she felt that he may have been involved in some other crimes. However, she was unaware of the 3 missing women case or that he was a suspect.
Now, without a solid alibi for the morning of June 7th, 1992, Robert Craig Cox jumps to the top of a short list of suspects in the case of the Springfield 3.
He is almost as bad a nightmare as their disappearance.
Springfield police travel to Texas to interview Cox, who is serving a life sentence. But it takes more than one visit to crack him.
We made 3 separate trips to Texas to interview him in the Department of Corrections.
Each time, Cox denies any involvement with the 3 missing women and frustrates the police with cagey answers.
He's toyed with the Springfield Police Department and with a lot of us in the media. I think he gets off on toying with all of us.
Cox tells police just enough to intrigue them about his knowledge of the case, but not enough to incriminate himself. About a year later, still incarcerated in Texas, Cox gives an interview about the 3 missing women to a Springfield TV reporter.
I know that they're dead. I'll say that. I know that.
That's not a theory.
Yeah, but I know that I just know that they're dead. I believe that a person who did this had experience, knew what they were doing. I believe that the 3 missing women are buried close to Springfield.
It can either be a combination of just wanting attention, or it could be that he actually has some involvement in it. But he obviously enjoys the fact that people were contacting him and spending time looking into him as a possible suspect.
Kathy Baird, a crime reporter for the Ozark Sentinel, becomes fascinated with the 3 missing women when she moves to Springfield in 2000. She's convinced the case can be cracked.
I said, there's got to be something somewhere. Somebody knows something. And I picked the case up and started working it.
Baird makes a lot of contacts in the community and starts receiving tips of her own. Most assume the women have been murdered and name possible locations of the bodies. Police are skeptical about some of the information.
We have a lot of rumors about possible locations of where the 3 missing women have been buried or their remains are located. Most of it is psychic information that was provided in a dream or a vision from an individual.
But Kathy Baird believes one of the sites is mentioned by too many sources, too many times to be a coincidence. The South parking garage at Cox Hospital. While Cox Hospital and Robert Craig Cox have no connection, it's another bizarre twist in a convoluted case. In 2007, 15 years after Cheryl, Susie, and Stacy go missing, Kathy asks a mechanical engineer named Rick Norland to come to Springfield, Missouri.
She explained that
that she was investigating the disappearance of some women. She didn't tell me how many.
Norland, who was called to Ground Zero after 9/11 to help dig out debris, is an expert in ground-penetrating radar, or GPR, which produces underground images.
You're able to visualize what's below the surface or hidden.
GPR can detect buried objects, changes in the ground's material, and cracks or voids in the soil. But the image GPR projects is not as clear as an actual photograph.
So you get an image that you have to interpret. It's going to give you a black and white image, and a lot of times it looks like a bunch of squiggly lines, so somebody doesn't know what they're looking at.
Kathy and Norland scan one corner of Cox Hospital's south parking garage. The resulting images reveal more than anyone expects.
And when I got done marking out these perimeters and stood back, there's 3 anomalies, roughly about the same size. 2 are parallel and 1 was kind of perpendicular to the other 2. They were relatively shallow. Radar can't tell that there's a body down there, but this anomaly is very consistent with what we would see in a gravesite location.
The only way to confirm if there are bodies buried in this location is to dig for them. But the Springfield Police Department isn't convinced the GPR results are conclusive.
Introducing new Degree Body Wash, made with Epsom salt and electrolytes, designed to reset muscles in the shower.
Charge up? Wow.
Try New Degree Maximum Recovery. Introducing new Degree Body Wash, made with Epsom salt and electrolytes, designed to reset muscles in the shower.
Charge up? Wow.
Try New Degree Maximum Recovery.
Conclusive enough to justify tearing up the concrete.
He has credible resources and credible references for his work. Anomaly is a lot different than saying there's 3 missing people buried below the concrete.
Still, regardless of the faith police have in GPR science, there's another problem.
The parking garage was built a year after the disappearance of the 3 missing women. It's, it's well after the fact.
People will tell you that, oh, it couldn't be the site because it was still under construction. Yeah, exactly. If it had been completed, there'd be nothing to it. But it wasn't.
Let's find out what's underneath that concrete. I want my family found.
I am willing to be wrong. Prove me wrong.
In December 2010, 3 years after Rick Norland scans the parking garage, police are reconsidering their position.
Chief Williams says that he plans to get all parties involved, the hospital, former and current law enforcement who worked on the case, also the prosecutor's office, get everyone together in the next 2 weeks to try to move forward on this case.
If there was a way to basically put those rumors to rest, then we would look at that.
We're still open-minded and we still look into every tip and lead, and we will continue on this one.
If they find remains there, then we're going to have to deal with it.
In nearly 19 years since the women disappeared, investigators have logged over 5,000 tips, followed leads in 21 states, and searched the woods throughout the Ozarks to no avail. For the families of the missing women, the lack of closure makes their loss even harder to bear. Janice McCall frequently visits a memorial for the 3 women to keep her hope alive.
I take the attitude that my daughter is still alive because they have not found her and they have not found any remains.
It's especially painful for Bart Streeter, who never got the chance to reconcile with his mother and sister.
Now, I've always believed that we would have worked it out, but we never saw each other again.
80% get genetically meaningful health info from their 23andMe DNA reports. 80%. That's 8 out of 10 people who could get something enlightening, something empowering, something that could change everything. Info that could give you greater control of your own health. And it's right there in your DNA. So, if 80% get genetically meaningful health info, the question is, will you be part of the 80%?
Do you know what the future holds?
I was not expecting to learn about my heart health from my genetic reports, but now that I have this info, it feels like I can take even more control of my health.
Do you know what the future holds?
जंगल न्यूज देख रहे हैं आप, आपके साथ मैं हूं सारिका। आज हम आपको बताएंगे जंगल के एक और खूंखार जानवर भालू के बारे में। अमेरिका के मोंटाना में हाल ही में एक भालू ने बाइक सवार शख्स को नोच कर मार डाला। यह काफी पिछली भालू पाए जाते हैं और जिस वजह से आदमखोर हो चुके भालू की तलाश की गई, लेकिन
भालू जिसकी गुर्राहट रूह कपा दे, भालू जिसका हमला मौत की नींद सुला दे, भालू जिसकी मौजूदगी इंसानों में दहशत मचा दे। ऐसे ही एक भालू ने अमेरिका में तहलका मचा दिया। मोंटाना ग्लेशियर नेशनल पार्क में हेलीकॉप्टर भालू की तलाश कर रहा है। जंगल के चारों तरफ नाकेबंदी कर दी गई है। एक भालू को पकड़ने के लिए वन विभाग की टीम ने अपनी पूरी ताकत झोंक दी है। सुरक्षा एजेंसियां भी भालू की तलाश में जंगल का चप्पा चप्पा छान रही हैं। दरअसल ये सब कुछ हुआ है मोंटाना में एक बाइक सवार की मौत के बाद। बताया जा रहा है कि ये पर्वतारोही ग्लेशियर नेशनल पार्क से गुजर रहा था। इसी दौरान अचानक भालू ने उस पर हमला कर दिया। खूंखार भालू ने ब्रैड ट्रीट नाम के उस शख्स को अपने नुकीले पंजों से नोच डाला।
Oh, I can't stop laughing. I think it's over. Let me go check it out. But how did we just jump to yeah, that's the thing. Hang on a
Super
second.
random.
Hang
can
on,
start
guys.
it
I'm
over.
going back to make sure we got the end of
There
it.
are at least 4 questions in Question 1, and all of them will harm Maine's economy. Question 1 gives
I
politicians power to impose new laws and
I
restrictions
honestly do not know what that
retroactively as
was.
far back as 2014. It creates uncertainty for small businesses, with politicians second-guessing past decisions.
Too
Question 1
funny.
will make it
But
harder
there's
to create
definitely
jobs
a
and
lot
bring
of digging to
investment
do
Maine.
because
When it
I
comes
know
to
that I was
Question
not
1,
hearing things
vote
when
no to retroactive laws.
didn't he said that he bit his own tongue up, but then they said no way.
Introducing new Degree
I have
Body
to watch
Wash,
the naked ad
made with
again.
Epsom salt and electrolytes, designed to reset muscles
I
in
don't
the
know
shower.
what they said. I think it was Arabic. The
Try
writing
new
was
Degree
like
Maximum
Arabic.
Recovery.
I don't speak Arabic.
I do not.
Let me go and see.
An expert in ground penetrating radar, or GPR, which produces underground. But Kathy Baird believes one of the sites is mentioned by too many sources.
Hummingbird said, pause the video, hot mic.
Incidents. The South parking garage at Cox Hospital.
Okay. So we ended at, I don't know what happened. Maybe the black web actually got us. So where did we end? Right at the hospital, right? Cox Hospital? Around there?
They were talking about a parking lot story.
Yeah, so I'm going to start right at the Cox Hospital. I think we could have, no, it's almost over. It's got like 5 minutes. We actually could have been hijacked by the dark web. Hang on one second.
My computer's been acting a little funky too.
That's scary. Okay, let's go finish it, guys. Hopefully we don't get hacked.
While Cox Hospital and Robert Craig Cox have no connection, it's another bizarre twist in a convoluted case. In 2007, 15 years after Cheryl, Susie, and Stacy go missing, Kathy asks a mechanical engineer named Rick Norland to come to Springfield, Missouri.
She explained that she was investigating the disappearance of some women. She didn't tell me how many.
Norland, who was called to Ground Zero after 9/11 to help dig out debris, is an expert in ground-penetrating radar, or GPR, which produces underground images.
You're able to visualize what's below the surface or hidden.
GPR can detect buried objects, changes in the ground's material, and cracks or voids in the soil. But the image GPR projects is not as clear as an actual photograph.
So you get an image that you have to interpret. It's going to give you a black and white image, and a lot of times it looks like a bunch of squiggly lines, so somebody doesn't know what they're looking at.
Kathy and Norland scan one corner of Cox Hospital's south parking garage. The resulting images reveal more than anyone expects.
And when I got done marking out these perimeters and stood back, there's 3 anomalies, roughly about the same size. 2 are parallel and 1 was kind of perpendicular to the other 2. They were relatively shallow. Radar can't tell that there's a body down there, but this anomaly is very consistent with what we would see in a gravesite location.
The only way to confirm if there are bodies buried in this location is to dig for them. But the Springfield Police Department isn't convinced the GPR results are...
I think community in building a business is super important, and I would say that if we've had any success, it'll be because of us doing it together as a family.
Introducing new Degree Body Wash, made with Epsom salt and electrolytes, designed to reset muscles in the shower.
Charge up? Wow.
Try New Degree Maximum Recovery.
You're conclusive enough to justify tearing up the concrete.
He has credible resources and credible references for his work. Anomaly is a lot different than saying there's 3 missing people buried below the concrete.
Still, regardless of the faith police have in GPR science, there's another problem.
The parking garage was built a year after the disappearance of the 3 missing women. It's well after the fact.
People will tell you that, oh, it couldn't be the site because it was still under construction. Yeah, exactly. If it had been completed, there'd be nothing to it. But it wasn't.
Let's find out what's underneath that concrete. I want my family found.
I am willing to be wrong. Prove me wrong.
In December 2010, 3 years after Rick Norland scans the parking garage, police are reconsidering their position.
Chief Williams says that he plans to get all parties involved, the hospital, former and current law enforcement who worked on the case, also the prosecutor's office, get everyone together in the next 2 weeks to try to move forward on this case.
If there is a way to basically put those rumors to rest, then we would look at that.
We're still open-minded, and we're still looking at every tip and lead, and we will continue on this one.
If they find remains there, then we're going to have to deal with it.
In nearly 19 years since the women disappeared, investigators have logged over 5,000 tips, followed leads in 21 states, and searched the woods throughout the Ozarks, to no avail. For the families of the missing women, the lack of closure makes their loss even harder to bear. Janice McCall frequently visits a memorial for the 3 women to keep her hope alive.
I take the attitude that my daughter is still alive because they have not found her and they have not found any remains.
It's especially painful for Bart Streeter, who never got the chance to reconcile with his mother and sister.
Now, I've always believed that we would have worked it out, but we never saw each other.
I was not expecting.
All right. Well, that's it. I will definitely cut the ads next time. Yep, we got some digging to do.
I feel like I have more questions now.
Yeah, I have more questions too.
Did you see Michael's comment?
And which one? Let me see. The things I discovered and saw while in the dark web. Yeah, tell me about it. It's a scary place. All right, guys. Well, thank you all for coming in. and joining my membership. And I'll let you guys know in Discord. I'll drop the link. I'll load the first part of the book tomorrow. And drop the link in the Discord lobby.
Good night, you guys.
All right, guys. Have a good night. Stay vigilant, guys. Keep your babies close.